Good morning. My name is Habiba Sioudy. I'm here today at Supervisor Gioia's office here at West Contra Costa County. Today we're going to be talking about energy and environmental justice and things that you can do at home and in your personal lives to kind of just speed up or contribute to your community and climate change and reversing climate change. I'm joined here today by my co-host, Ken.
Hello there, I'm Ken. I'm also a summer intern at Supervisor Gioia's office.
And we're also here with our esteemed guest from CBE, Kat.
Hi, I'm Kat Ramos. I am the program director for CBE Richmond.
Hi. So you want to tell us a little bit about CBE and your initiative and what you do?
Yeah, absolutely. At CBE Richmond, we do have 4 locations all throughout California. CBE is a 45 plus 46-year-old organization that started out in Chicago, actually, and now has 4 different locations here in California. We have Richmond, East Oakland, Wilmington, and Southeast LA. And essentially, we want to use our trifecta model, which is pretty unique to the organizing spaces that I've been a part of for the last 20 years. But our trifecta model is really great, where we're combining legal support, research support, and organizing to strengthen our work. So our work is member-led and member-organized, so we have working groups. We really want to bring in our community to be the decision makers and the ones who drive our work. That turns into what we do strategic planning for, and then our working plans, really reflect that work. That is really pushed and driven by the community. And it's supported very, very, very strategically by our legal team and very much so by our research team. And so we try to make sure that our community is educated and try to make sure that in the places where we can make impact, our community is ready to do so.
So you mentioned a legal team. What do they do? Have there been any cases lately?
There seem to be ongoing cases that happen. It is very hard to be in constant defense of the community, especially navigating the environmental justice world. There are a lot of mandates and ordinances, and just in this county, we're dealing with multiple cities, right? And so there's different things happening in each city and different impacts happening. And so we have to be aware of all of those things. So our legal team navigates, being aware of any new permits, any issues with developments, hopefully working with our agencies and our community and our municipalities to strengthen the protections for our community as well.
Yeah, of course.
And part of that has to do with, language that is legally bound and has to be legally sound. And so our legal team handles all of those things along with, the actual litigation cases that happen when we have to fight, which happen more often than we want, but they do happen. And we're grateful for our legal team to be able to help. Yeah.
So when we talk about research team, is it data collection, or do you go out and explore the potential energy or motivations that you could do?
Yeah, I mean, it's all across the board. So our research team does a combination of grabbing all these massive reports from the EPA, from DTSC, from BACMed, these agencies that are meant to protect us, right? Even CARB, the California Air Resources Board, right? And so taking these massive reports that are 100 pages, 80 pages, synthesizing them and making them accessible to us and our community. So we create infographics, we'll create slide decks, we'll have learning sessions, we'll have working groups. And so the data is in part to be able to supplement what our legal team is doing, on that end, but also to bring in the information that is important for our community to know, and make it accessible and, able to be absorbed in a non-technical way.
Mm-hmm, because you don't want to go to 7 different websites to look at all different things.
Right. It becomes very inaccessible, and when people are trying to find information right now, or when people are trying to, figure out whether or not, things are safe, or, an explosion happens or something happens, anything can happen. How can they access the important information that they need?
So we kind of want to let people know the steps they can take at home, and like just small little things, because like one small thing, over a course of a long period of time can make such a big impact and change in your community and just in the world in general. So do you have any like tips and tricks people can do at home to like really take that step to like start trying to want to like reverse or even slow down climate change?
I think it really begins with education, right? And really having a clear understanding that our individual impact is one thing, and then there's this massive other impact that is being, put upon us, right? And having that understanding that, yes, we have to be responsible ourselves in the way that we consume, right? And we also have to educate ourselves on where in the system this is happening and where the biggest impact is happening. And so that's part of our job too. And I think the biggest tip I can provide is, thinking about what our impact is on everybody else in our community.
Yeah.
Right? How are we improving the relationships between ourselves and everything that's living around us? Not just the humans, but the living animals, the plant families that we have around us, the native plants that are around us, the water, the soil, the air. And really reestablishing that relationship and getting in right relationship with those things. We are the stewards of the land right now.
Yeah.
Just like our previous ancestors were, just like the Ohlone people who were the original stewards here were, right? And so being in right relationship with the land, with all living things, is part of the honoring of that. And so that is the best way that I can say that we can start to get back to that. Those rituals and those practices that the Ohlone people have done, that other indigenous peoples have been in practice of, are really what we should get back to.
Yeah.
And having that relationship is really going to be the way and the pathways towards that. Our work is in honor of that as well, having that right relationship with everything living.
Yeah, I also like to ask, how do you collaborate with other organizations? Because as a single organization, it's kind of a little bit harder to navigate through, especially federal governments or et cetera. How do you collaborate, or do you have any plans to collaborate with other organizations?
Absolutely, absolutely. This work is meant to be collaborative by nature, right? As you said, no one organization can do all the things. Our communities need a variety of different things, and we have to have a variety of different relationships. And so coalition work is massively important. We have a 9-organization coalition here called Richmond Our Power Coalition, ROPC. We are a part of that. There are 8 other groups that do local work here in Richmond that are a part of that. So that's part of that arm of that work that we do collectively. And we carry different elements of the just transition model, which, we can talk about at another time. And then there's other coalition spaces at county level, at state level that we're a part of, which bring in our partners from all over the state and allows us to strategize together and problem solve together and bring forward all of these things that the community is asking for at local, county, and state levels. And beyond. And beyond.
So what advice would you give someone who wants to get involved in your organization or even just in the community? What would you tell that person to do?
Absolutely. There are multiple Instagram pages for Richmond Our Power, for CBE Richmond, and just reaching out to us through there. We usually post our member meetings on our site. Also, we have our newsletters and different correspondence that we can offer through our email list and stuff. We also have our action network. So if you go to our link tree on our Instagram, you'll find a lot of different information on there and ways to plug in. And you can also just reach out to me as the program director, kat@cbecal.org, and I'll make sure you get to the right place. Our organizers are amazing. The programming work that we have is incredible. And if the work that we're holding is not passionate, for you, we can direct you to the other organizations that you can connect with, for sure.
Perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Also, I was going to ask, is there any you talking about like the meetings, right? Are there like public meetings that you could access to? Or?
Yeah. There are some public meetings, some public workshops. We just did one in April, which was a flaring town hall out of Verde Elementary. And so there's different ones that are public. Some are more private for our inclusive just to our members. But a lot of our meetings, you'll see them on Instagram, and you can join for sure.
Perfect. So let's go over. So today we went over how CBE interacts with the community, their vision, and then like the strategies or what they have access to like the public. Do you guys also have like a website? Is it just cberichmond.org?
You can go to cbe.org and you'll have all four of the communities listed on there. Our Instagram is more tailored towards us and Richmond-based work. And that's where you'll find the majority of our information besides having, the interaction with us directly. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thank you so much
so
for
much.
talking with us today.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Make sure to show love to their Instagram.
Yes.
Shout out to
CBE
your
Richmond.